All right, welcome into another edition of the Stingers Up Sacramento State Football Podcast. Jason Ross with the head coach, Brennan, Marion. Coach, congrats. Nice win against Weber. It took a while to get there because you guys had the rain delay, lightning delay. What'd you guys do with the about 2 hours that you had before you actually kicked off?
Well, at first, as soon as we got there, we thought we had a chance to play. So it was kind of weird how the weather changed that drastically quick. So we got there. It wasn't raining. The sky was starting to get dark. So we did a warm up. And then as we finished a quick warm up, it was like, oh, the sky's changing. Something's coming. So we were it was 10 minutes till we go out. And then it was like, nope, we're not going out. So we started the process of just, okay, what does this look like? Met with the officials, met with the athletic director, and they just kept pushing back the time. So what we did with the players was told them to take their cleats off, relax, listen to music, watch some games, the games that were on. And then, we fed them.
More food,
got some jersey mics. And then kind of just, we didn't try to overcoach them or talk to them. We just let them have their time and relax. We knew we had a good game plan for what was prepared, and we got a chance to get a rain practice the week before. Yeah. So we kind of knew that, what would happen, but it went from 30 minutes to an hour and 30 minutes. We're like, okay. Right. And then finally, when everybody's like, all right, you're clear to go. We were like, all right, let's go, let's roll. So we were just happy to actually get a chance to play the game. All the players, coaches, after having a bye week, we were chomping at the bit to play the game. So we were excited to get a chance to play.
So in the booth, the broadcast booth, they'd put a kind of a clock on the scoreboard. Every time there was lightning within 8 miles, it would reset. So we became well aware of it. It got down to 11 minutes where it fired up back to 30, down to 8, back to 30. How much communication was to you guys on, hey, until it gets to 0, you're not even coming out? How much did you guys know during that 2-hour window?
Yeah, we kept getting the same. We had the same clock in our locker room.
It's depressing.
Yeah, and it was like, all right, we might be ready.
Yeah.
No.
Reset.
No, we might be ready. And then finally I was like, all right, I'm not doing that anymore. Take the clock out of here. After 2 times of that, I was like, all right, just tell me when we are actually going to go out there.
Yeah. So it's important, you've been saying about the resiliency and the response. If it's a bad play, respond after. If it's a bad quarter, so on and so forth. So a game you guys weren't thrilled with was Cal Poly, but you have the bye week, you work on things, you respond. I'm sure you checked a bunch of boxes with the performance against Weber.
Yeah, it was the first game I felt like since we've started this season that we played complementary football where, we had big plays on special teams, we had big plays on defense, and we had big plays on offense, and it all kind of just married together. And we had talked about that, ad nauseum and, really challenged the guys and, coaching them hard on making sure they understand that we are playing as a team. Like it's not a one-man show out there or a two-man show. It's like, if you're on offense, you get the corrections from the coaches, then you stand up, you watch what the defense is doing so you know how to operate and win the game. The same thing from defense. When the offense is out there playing, you go, okay, did they score? Did they get stopped? Did they turn the ball? What do we need to do to be a great defense and stop them from scoring? And same with special teams. We need a touchdown on special teams. We need a block punt. We need a game-changing play on special teams. And so I think that's where our guys had really came together on. They were locked arm in arm out there. They were cheering each other on. They were standing up for each other, and it was freezing cold. It was, all the worst weather conditions you could have. They did that in a cold game on the road. I was really proud of our team and our coaching staff for getting guys to understand that it's bigger than the individual effort. It's about the team, and it was good to see us play as a team.
And then historically, you guys did some things this program has never had before. One of the best rushing days ever, 3 100-yard rushers, put up a ton of points. I mean, it's a glimpse of what you probably thought this offense could do. That was pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, like I said, the games that we, after the first game, I didn't like the first game, but really after that game, we showed that we can run the ball. We showed that we can score 40. We showed that we can pass the ball at times, but it was never like a consistent just pour it on type of deal. And so in that game, we got a chance to just show that we could be physically dominant the entire game, just doing one thing, doing the simple thing. We ran the same plays over and over again. And that's what you want when you're confident and you're competent on what you're doing. Our players went out there and they continually kept making the play over and over again.
Yeah. last week before the game, you had told me in the pregame that you felt over the week with the bye week that your team got as close as they've been all season. A couple players shared that same sentiment. Can you pinpoint anything as to why? I mean, it's a good sign, but why it's kind of feeling like it's coming together better?
Yeah, I really just think like the leadership of guys, it gets to a point where you start like feeling like you're playing with your potential, like when you're not living up to what you said you were going to do. I think everybody, when they first came here, was really gung ho on, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And they were very brash about saying that. And then I said, when the lights came on, we lost that spark, and I just told them the truth. I'm like, it's really all those little things that you guys are being forced to do that you used to do on your own that we got fixed in the winter, and we got you to do it right in the spring, and we got you in the summer to have a 3.0 GPA, and every single player on our team took a summer school class, and everybody did the right thing, and they were accountable, and they were on time, and they did everything right. That's what got us great results. And so, once school starts, the season starts, and people telling you how good you are, then you start slacking on those little things and not taking care of them. So our leadership just decided, it was really a player decision, because I said, I've done all I can. I've taken you guys all the way up to the fountain.
Yeah.
You're right there. Like, I've given you everything. You have it, all the stuff that you need, and you guys aren't holding up your end of the bargain. I said, I'll keep coaching the coaches and be on them. And I told the leadership, like, your guys are going to have to change the way that the players operate. Mm-hmm. And they have done that. They've kept the locker room clean every day. They've been on time. They leave practice early now to make sure that they're at class on time. They're doing all the little things right. And so now we're having the results I think that we want to have on the field.
I know too, from back in spring to early fall, you talked about coaching literally everybody to be prepared. So when you get a guy like Smith who comes in as a freshman, I think had a yard or two coming into the game that goes for 100. How rewarding is that for you to see a young player like that thrive?
Yeah, I just think our coaches do a really good job of teaching these guys. We have a lot of offense, defense, and special team scheme-wise. And it's a lot for a young player to learn, or a transfer to learn who's not been at a program that asks a lot of them. And I think those young guys have done a really good job. We have a lot of young players that have stepped up and made significant plays. Jaquill's number was called last week, and he was ready to go out there and make plays and execute. And he showed that, continually each week in practice. He went from a guy who was just a wow player, like, oh, he does one wow player practice, and you're like, man, he has really good potential, to being like coming in early, staying late, getting extra meeting time, working out there early before practice, after practice, really working on his skills and be trying to become a professional in his approach. And so it really was no surprise to anybody when he made those plays in the game. We thought that he was that, and he proved that he was that when he got a chance to get the ball.
All right, so now this week, Northern Colorado, they're coming off their best win for this program in a long time. Impressive to win at Idaho the way they did. When you look at the Bears on film this week, what pops out on the film for them?
Yeah, I think they just do a really good job of, one, protecting the quarterback up front with the O-line. I think they have, 3 to 4 running backs by committee that are physical, can get after you, can make plays in the passing game as well, catch out of the backfield. And then they have 3 receivers that are like, boy dogs, like really can just go up, and they don't run a lot of routes. They don't have a lot of route tree. It's not like you're going to see like a grand scheme of things, but they just put up 50-50 balls, and those guys have been able to come down and make the play. And they have just number 3 and number 1. I mean, they've consistently just went up and made plays. I mean, with guys draped all over them, they're up there making Lynn Swan catches and, doing some things. So we're going to have to do a really good job in coverage with those guys, because I think they present problems of just their quarterback throws it to a spot and those guys just come down with the ball. So, at first I'm like, man, this quarterback must be like, but I really realized, like, man, these receivers are making crazy plays for this guy. Like, they are making like contested, tough catches. So that'll be a challenge for our secondary, and a challenge for us up front to get home to the quarterback, because they really haven't let people touch him. He's gotten the ball out quick and been able to, distribute the ball to his receivers pretty well. And then they do enough in the run game where you have to account for both. Then defensively, they've been really good taking the ball away. We have got to do a good job with ball security. I think, anytime we've taken care of the ball, we're a pretty explosive operation. So I think we have to do a really good job of taking care of the football. And then they have a safety who, I feel like could be a next level player. He comes downhill. He makes a lot of plays. I think he's by far their leading tackler, number 13. He can make plays on the ball. I think their DBs are where their strength is of their team. Up front, they have quality guys up front that play really, really hard and get to the ball. And then they have a linebacker 54 that is kind of like the guy we played last week at Weber, Zero, who's an old school downhill linebacker, runs sideline to sideline, makes plays. So we just have to do a really good job of taking care of the ball on offense. But I think they do have some guys that can, change the game at the receiver position, which, at our level, you don't see that a lot where you have receivers that can continually make those hard, tough catches.
Yeah. So on that, is there more on, it's probably all elements, but more on your coverage there or your ability to get after the quarterback to hurry him? What's kind of more important in the element to the outcome for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit of both. I don't think they've seen a unit like we have up front defensively as far as our D-line. I mean, obviously we lead the country. We lead the free world in sacks. So, that'll be something that'll be unique for them to see how they respond. They say that old quote of everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. So we have to do a really good job of being physical and getting after them. But I think their O-line has done a really good job of making sure that no team that they've played Colorado State, they've played some teams this season where they haven't had a chance to touch the quarterback. Mm-hmm. So they know their limitations or what their skill set is, and they know how to make sure the quarterback doesn't get hit.
Yeah. All right. Lastly, for you, Coach, you've hit the halfway point as far as the schedule, played 6. You've had your bye. Now it's the push for everything you guys are trying to achieve. I'm sure you'd like a game or two back, but just kind of the halfway evaluation of your first year here.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, my goal as a coach, as a player, as a competitor is to win everything. So we didn't get that done, but one thing I told myself during the bye week is I could beat the team up and yell at them every day and be a tyrant, or I can be positive, preach the message to them about progress, not perfection, and making sure that we, take it one day at a time, one step at a time. And that's what got us here in the winter. We were just focused on just being 1-0 each day, just completing the task on your checklist each day. Did you go to class? Did you wake up? Were you a good person? Like just doing all those little things right, and then letting the results be with the, not being so result driven. And it's hard during the season because everything is wins, losses. Yeah. But for us, that's what we've been focused on, is just our process. And then we feel like if we have a great process throughout the week and each day we go 1-0, that makes it a little bit easier on Saturdays. And so I think where we're at right now is ultimately the program won 3 games last year. We have 3 right now, and we need to just keep trending upwards. And, I told our guys, I mean, every game, if we say that we're a playoff team, every game for us is a playoff game, and we have to be 1-0 each week.
And this one, homecoming, home crowd, should be a good one. Should be a good game, too. Looking forward to this one.
Absolutely. Yeah. Fired up. I'm excited for, just to see everybody come out and then, put on a great performance for them.
All right, Coach. Thank you.
Appreciate you. Thank you, man.
All right, we continue the podcast this week with senior offensive lineman, Kendall Riley. Has it gone fast? Senior year already for you?
Yeah, kind of really looking back on it, like I've kind of been just taking it all in, like day by day. Like I felt like when I first started, you're a freshman, trying to get your feel. You're like, okay, school, football, like where like the wheels are turning fast. And then now like I've graduated now, so I kind of like just taking like regular classes. I think I only have 3 classes, so kind of just like taking it in, because once it's over, like there's nothing else that you can really do besides football. It's like this. So,
what'd you graduate in?
I graduated with a bachelor's in communications.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a plan for that in the future? Or
yeah. So there's some different. I have good friends that are doing really well for themselves in like software sales and tech sales.
Okay.
So I'm thinking about going that route and just maybe like doing something in the Bay or something. I think that's where my plan is. I've been doing research and talking to different companies, just seeing what it looks like.
Any football after this season?
Potentially. I mean, I don't know. Kind of, it's up in the air.
Yeah.
Just really trying to figure it out. I don't know. I've been playing football since I was 7.
Yeah.
So a really long trek to now, 15 years now. So I don't know, just trying to get a feel, I guess. I don't know. Just
There's
trying
still
time.
outside,
So,
so you went to Capital Christian. Were you Sacramento born and raised, or?
so I was born in Los Angeles, and then I lived in Elk Grove until I was about 6 or 7. My first sport was basketball, so I played that when I was 5. And then I remember my dad, he tricked me. He bought me some new stuff, and I was like, oh, maybe I'm going to basketball practice. But it was summer, so I'm like, maybe I don't know. This is weird. And I remember I went to my first football practice, and I was like, Dad, don't ever take me out here. But I played it and had a good time playing it. So
when did you get the bug for football? Then obviously you became very good at it, but what was the kind of conversion to football for you?
So I'm not gonna lie, my first year playing it, I used to cry all the time because my dad would yell at me, and I used to he would get me mad, and I would get to crying, and then I played really well. So really, I think the bug was probably when I was about 9 or 10 when I started to see that I had potential, I guess.
Yeah.
And just really like getting the understanding of like, this is something like bigger than just me. Like I can change my life with playing this. So I don't know. I understood that from a young age. So I kind of just kept playing it and just got better.
So if we go back, was Dad fair? Why was he yelling at you? What were you doing?
I'd be doing like being soft, or I'd just be like, like, you know what I mean? Or like, I just would like let people block me. And he's like, dude, stop being a baby, you know, but obviously in less nicer terms than what I'm saying. You know, and I just, he showed tough love like I think a dad's supposed to.
Yeah.
And it got me really far, as you know.
So always O-line or other positions?
Yeah, I was a big man my whole life. I think my year I was 145 pounds, and I was like,
wait, at what age?
At like 7. I just turned 7. I was 145 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah, so I always had the X on my helmet. I've always had my hand in the ground since I've been playing football. So this is all I know. I've never caught a ball, never ran the ball. You know, some people, they're like, oh, I was a this. No, I played lineman the whole time.
So there's no plays in the playbook for a little dump off to Kendall Riley?
Unfortunately not, but I can catch. Yeah. I just like to eat. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, you know, I chose my path young.
Okay. So what is it about Sacramento State that drew you? So you're playing at Capital Christian, and at that time, if I'm not mistaken, 2020 is when you arrived?
2021.
Okay.
They like it was a weird transitional period that I was in.
Yeah. So what brought you here?
So I mean, a lot of it was really just in high school. Like I didn't get a senior year, so after my junior year of film, that was all I had, you know. And by that time, I'd already had a few offers from different FCS schools and a couple of Ivy League schools. But really, number one was like my family. Like I've always been around them my whole life, and I not that I couldn't have went away, but it just was easier, and it helped that Sacramento was probably the best school out of all my offers. Mm-hmm. But also just being able to just like I'm able to go see my people every week, and I make it a thing to go see my grandparents once to twice a week because they've seen me grow up. They've been around my whole life, and they're a big part of my life. And then my parents, obviously, they get to come to every game, and I don't see them as often just because they live a little farther. My grandparents live only in Elk Grove. My parents live like way up in Lincoln, so that's kind of far. Mm-hmm. It's just hard to want to drive there and back.
But you know they're there.
But I know they're there, and I call them. I talk to them often. My mom works at the Melt. I don't know if that, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I see her maybe like 2-3 times a week. So I don't know, just being able to stay with my family and really like my sister is a big part. Like I helped raise her when I was coming up and all those things. So I just feel like all those things are very important and they matter. So I just felt like being close to my family, because my parents were going to move if I left. Okay. Like if I moved out of California, they would have moved. So,
oh, really?
Yeah.
So they would have followed you.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So if I think about your journey here too, it's, you know, at one point, Troy Taylor to Andy Thompson, now to Coach Marion, you've experienced a lot of turnover, a lot of winning in there too. But what's that whole process been like for you?
Coach Taylor, it was a lot of like, he expected a lot of us as a young age. And like, I feel like that's what most coaches expect. Like they expect you to, you know, so my first year I was kind of feeling the ropes and I kind of was like going through it in a sense. And then I feel like I got my feet under me that spring of my freshman year, and I really like turned the page. And then after that, I was traveling, and then that was the first year I ever started. I started in the Richmond game, and it was pouring, and I was like, this is terrible. I was like, this is, you know what I mean? But
you won.
But we won, and I'm a part of a little bit of Sac State history, and I'm part of a lot of it now. And so that was a big turning point for me. And then I felt like when Coach Thompson came in, I had like other things going on outside the field that was affecting, I feel like, my play. And it showed. Like I got really big. I think I was like my biggest, I was like 350. And then
Wow.
after off season, I got to like 375. And then that spring came around and I was like 360 something. And I was like, dude, like, you got to get it together. Like this, because it was my junior year. I had another year of school and I'm like, you got to get it together. So I feel like I really turned a page in that time. And I started playing better ball that next season. I lost a lot of weight. I got all the way down to like 330.
How'd you do that?
A lot of walks, and I just started eating a lot of protein, no carbs, really, just protein, eggs, and fruit and butter, and which I still do now. And now I'm only
Not
like,
butter on its own, I hope.
No,
Okay.
no, butter with the food, but like just like no oils or nothing,
Yeah.
and then just walking. I'd walk, so we would have to work out. I would get up, walk, go to practice, work out, eat dinner, walk again,
Wow.
and I did that all the way up until now. And now I'm like, this is weird for me. I've never been the guy they got to tell like, oh, you need to gain weight, but I'm the guy that needs to gain weight. I'm only
Really?
like 299 realistically.
What's the perfect number?
That the coaches want me at?
Yeah.
Oh, like 310,
Okay.
like 305.
But do you
310.
feel good at 310?
Yeah. I'm in that like anywhere from 300 to 310 range. It just depends on what I'm drinking or what I've eaten that day. But I feel great. Like honestly, this is the best I felt in all my seasons.
Yeah.
And that's funny to say because this is the oldest I've ever been. So, but yeah, just being able to just turn it around, I guess, was really the main thing.
Yeah.
It was me versus me the whole time.
Yeah. And then now you have a new coach too, and Coach Marion. You guys, it's a different vibe, a different atmosphere. What's that been like?
I think Coach Marion brought out a different side of me that I didn't like. I knew it was in there, but it took like his big thing is confidence, and I think what he did for me was he helped bring the confidence out of me. Like no matter like when he puts us in adverse situations or when it's practice or even when we were training and it was victory lap and it's 5 a.m, we're running, it's cold, they're yelling at us, we're up, down, and the grass is wet. Like all those things kind of shaped me into I feel like my confidence is I'm unwavered. Like when we experience adversity or whatever, like it's just, we've done this before. This is not anything new. So I just kind of feel like with those things, like he's brought a new sense of confidence that I feel like we've lacked in past years.
Yeah. So earlier in the season, we had a chance in the podcast to talk to your team. Well, they're all your teammates, but Aiden Meek, the O-line room. He's bragging about you guys in the O-line. It's just a funny group with Coach Rich, just the whole group. What would you agree? What's going on? Who's the characters of your offensive line?
The characters, probably Jose. He's a character. Aiden Meek would like to think he's funny, but I think he steals jokes. I think he's a joke stealer.
Yeah.
I would say I'm pretty funny, but I'm not like.
Has he stolen your jokes?
Yes.
Oh.
He's a known joke stealer. But I feel like the whole O-line room with Coach Rich, and I feel like there's a common theme. Like through the new coaching staff, Coach Rich has always prevailed, and with that, the O-line has never really changed.
Yeah.
If anything, we've gained people more than we've lost. Like you know what I mean. So I just feel like Coach Rich is a big part in that. Like we want to play for him. We love him and we care about him. So we play just that much harder. I feel like that's the type of relationship because O-line, we don't get any credit. They don't put us in the paper or anything like, when the rushing or whatever we're leading or whatever, they talk about everybody else, but we really don't care about that. We just do it for our coach and the guys around us, our brothers.
Yeah. Since you individually never get stats, right? I mean, as you said, it goes to the quarterback, the running backs. What do you think is your best game and why? Like what have you felt like? If I look back, I'd show that game film to anybody because that was my best game.
Honestly, if I'm being realistic, I feel like my best game was this last game we just played. I feel like this year, especially in particular, like the 1-0 motto, I've kind of feel like I've tried to embody that by just not letting one bad play affect the whole thing and just using it as building blocks. Like the first game, building the second game, I feel like I've constantly just tried to take a